Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from No Definition 7097 and it says, my boyfriend is in a mental institution after I called the cops. Am I the arsehole here? And there is a trigger warning on this one of mentions of suicide, so if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. I, 17 female, have been with my boyfriend, 18 male, for about a year. Throughout our relationship, he's often mentioned suicide, at least once a month. Sometimes he's kind, but other times he has mental breakdowns where he blames everything on me and says I'm the cause of his problems. When we argue, I usually apologize just to calm things down, but he often keeps attacking my character. This cycle has been draining, and recently I told him I wanted to break up. A big part of our relationship is that during arguments, he frequently threatens to end his life if things don't go his way. Because of this, I found myself constantly apologizing and convincing him to stay calm, even when I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. It's been emotionally exhausting and has felt manipulative at times, but I've been scared that if I don't handle things just right, he might actually hurt himself. I've wanted to break up for a while now, but I've been afraid to do it because every time things get serious or tense, he brings up ending his life. I was worried that if I left, he would actually follow through with it. That fear has kept me in the relationship longer than I wanted. Today, after a few days of arguing and me being more distant in messages, we're long distance, he said he was going to his father's house to get a gun and shoot himself. He told me it was either he gets arrested or he ends his life. And he kept saying I was ruining his life at that point. I called the police. They later informed me that he agreed to go and is now in a mental institution. Now, I don't know how to feel. He hasn't contacted me since, and I'm left wondering if I made the right choice. I didn't want him to hurt himself, but I also worry that calling the cops might have made things worse. Will the institution actually help him? And was I wrong for taking that step? I genuinely just wanted to help, but I'm struggling with guilt and confusion right now. Edits, thank you to everyone who replied. I've read all your messages and I feel much better about the situation and validated in what I did. That is an absolutely terrifying situation to be in, and at 17 years old as well, having to deal with that kind of, emotional abuse is what it is in the end. I know he's clearly in a dark place, but he's manipulating you to stay in the relationship by telling you he's going to end his life if you even consider leaving, basically. But calling the police in that moment was absolutely the right thing to do. When someone threatens suicide, you take it seriously and get professionals involved, and you did absolutely that. You potentially saved his life, and who knows, maybe others as well. If he's threatened to go and get a gun, who knows how unstable he is. And whatever his state, he clearly needs some kind of professional help that you can't give him. He spent a year making you feel responsible for his emotions and actions, and someone who cycles like that through kindness and then to cruelty and threatens suicide to control you and then blames you for their problems, that person just needs professional help beyond what you can provide. And at this point I would say step back, do not contact him, and I wouldn't even feel obligated to even support at this moment. You said you wanted to be out of there for a long time ago, and I think this is the time. And maybe tell his family about that situation and so they can support him instead. Commenter says to OP, you're 100% not the arsehole here, but I'm going to dump a bit of cold water on you. If you maintain this relationship, you will be an arsehole. Because this person is obviously unstable, and you're not only putting yourself in danger, you're endangering everyone who lives with you if this guy knows your address. I know it feels like this relationship is a huge part of your life, because it does represent a relatively large portion of the period of time in which you've had adult autonomy. But you are objectively still young, and you struck out your first time at bat. It happens. You rolled snake eyes and this guy's unhinged. For your own sake and the sake of those around you, you need to sever this thing as quickly and permanently as possible. Just walk away. In the long run, you'll thank yourself. He hasn't contacted you yet? Great. You should probably change your number. Tell your family about him and tell them not to talk to him too. Create emotional distance to match your physical distance and pray it works. Opie says, thank you for your honesty and advice. I really appreciate it. I know it's scary to think about, but you're right. I need to fully sever ties for my own safety and well-being. I hopefully don't think he is the type to go that far, especially since we live 5 states away from each other. Hopefully. Commenter says, this is emotional abuse. Nothing will help him unless he wants to accept help. You can't change him and you deserve someone who will treat you with kindness full time and not just when they're in the right mental space. Commenter says, not the arsehole, he's being abusive. Using self-harm as leverage to keep a partner is disgusting. Also sadly often used as a weapon to control a partner. You need to get far away from this boy. You did the right thing getting him sectioned as it sounds like his behavior was escalating. It will help him. I recommend a therapist or counselor for you to talk through this as the whole situation sounds traumatizing. But you need to dump him, regardless of his threats. If he's going to harm himself, it's not because of you. It's because he is unwell and is projecting and manipulating you. Look after yourself, stay safe, stay far away from him. Find someone who loves you and doesn't put so much horrible pressure on you. Opie replies saying thank you for the advice. This really helped me feel a lot better about this situation. Another commenter says what he's doing is called psychological manipulation. If he was in any way serious about ending his life, he would have done it or tried by now. He threatens suicide to get you to do what he wants, and he continues to do it because it works. You soothe him, apologize, etc. for things you haven't even done. I get angry when I hear about women or girls staying in these types of relationships. This guy is obviously a royal jerk, pain in the ass, a wimp. A real man doesn't do things like this. He handles his business and treats his women with respect and love. If anything, you should be happy he's finally gone and maybe getting help for his numerous problems. Take this time to remove yourself from his life. Concentrate on making yourself awesome. You can find a guy who will show you how a healthy relationship looks and feels. No more being blamed for someone else's problems. No more having to apologize for nothing. No more being a pawn in whatever sick game this jerk is playing. Do not give in to him when he calls you and threatens unaliving himself unless you return. You're done with this trash and moving on to bigger and better things, right? Opie says thank you for saying this. I really needed to hear it put that way because I've been doubting myself and feeling guilty. You're right. It's not fair that I've had to constantly apologize and carry the blame for things I didn't even do. I know that now, that I need to focus on myself and not let his manipulation keep controlling me. I want to move forward and find something healthy instead of staying stuck in the cycle since it's been affecting me mentally. And Opie adds one more comment for the update which says, thank you so much for all your advice. I really appreciate it and I'll take it to heart. I'm just really worried that I ruined everything for him and I'm scared that I messed up. But I genuinely only wanted to help and keep him safe. So Opie comes in with her first update and says, small update, my boyfriend is in a mental institution after I called the cops, and then says, for those who saw my last post, I wanted to give an update. Here's the link to my last post and shares the link and then says, even though I blocked him everywhere, his messages went through on my MacBook. He sent me this from the mental institution. I'm using my only chance with my phone to message you. You got me tackled and handcuffed and sent into a white room with nothing in it after saying you want to break up. You somehow made everything worse because now I can't fix my windshield or work for Luke, and now I'm stuck in a mental ward with people screaming. I'm so scared. I slept on the ground and they kept doing tests on me. Why did you do this? I'm in so much pain right now. My life's getting worse. I'm just not going to talk to anyone anymore. Well, I lost my phone. Bye. I'm stuck in this mental institution. You also hate me. Opie then continues saying, it really sucks that he's still blaming me for everything. I just wanted him to get help. I haven't replied though, and I don't plan to. Also, thank you so much to everyone who replied. I read each comment and really appreciated the different perspectives. Your advice has given me a lot to think about and helped me reflect on the situation in a way I couldn't on my own. I'm grateful for the support and honesty from all of you. Opie adds a mini update below that one and says he got out a few days ago, and I'm currently in no contact with him anymore. I officially left him. So there were some comments before another update. One said, you need to make the authorities aware that he's still trying to manipulate and abuse you from inside the hospital. The hospital needs to know, and you need it on file with the police. I'm sorry you're going through this. Opie says thank you, I would, but I sadly don't know what institution he's at. Commenter says he's likely greatly exaggerating where he is. If they deemed him in enough distress to put him solo in a padded room, they would not give him an opportunity to use his phone. He has a bed, he's choosing to sleep on the ground. The tests are likely just his blood pressure. Opie says yes, I 100% agree. I always see this theme with him exaggerating everything. Even when it comes to telling me about other things, like for example that happen in movies. He would exaggerate the fuck out of everything, and I mean everything. It would annoy me so bad, but I didn't bring it up because I knew he was going to shift the blame onto me. But thank you for reassuring me. Commenter says, trust me, what he texted is a fucking lie. Opie replies saying, yep, now he's threatening to sue me, saying that he was just testing my loyalty. I ignored him. Another commenter says, to all that call cops on people that are suicidal, do you really think having them stuck in a ward with way more severe mental issues? These people are true mystics, and they don't like the system. They know this reality is faked, false, and they don't have any voice or artistic skills developed yet to express how they feel. So they try to depend on you, and hopefully you will feel how they feel. But instead, you call the system and stick them in a ward, where there isn't good at all. These people, especially kids, are the closest to the veil. What's happening? From birth up to 5 to 6, at the time of system jabs, they see what adults cannot. Then we're in schools that program us how they want us to be. This causes depression and substance use because we don't resonate with their programs. The ones that do cooperate with their systems end up being the controllers too. But the ones taking care of their system have absolutely no clue what they are doing because they rely on the system, the paycheck, the money. You guys have no clue who we are and what we know. Many of you go through college and obtain letters behind your name because you didn't know a true mystic. You label depression as a chemical disorder. Meanwhile, we know this system is built up to keep the true mystic fire in check. Besides, when they do commit suicide or when someone else dies from something other, they will be back. There's unseen entities feeding off our depression or despair, and the ones at the top know this. So when someone is placed in a mental hospital, not only are these entities feeding off our low vibes, but now we have to pay this huge bill. So again, did you do them a favor or create worse? You decide now. Wow. One guy was talking about unseen entities feeding off depression and despair. All I could think of was Jujutsu Kaisen, but Opie said, in my case, there was really nothing else I could really do. I felt the only option was to call the police on him to ensure his safety. I've tried to talk him out of it in the past and be there for him, but it never got better and nothing changed. So I knew that was my only option. Another commenter says, unless he was beating you, you're the arsehole. Not because he's right and you're wrong, but 99% of the time calling the cops is a dirtbag move. I doubt any of you will understand why though. OP replies saying, so what exactly was I supposed to do? Just sit there while he threatened to end his life? That's not something you ignore. I tried comforting him, but it wasn't working, and he doesn't even have real support around him that I can contact. Calling for help wasn't a dirtbag move, it was literally the only responsible thing to do. If someone's life might be at risk, doing nothing would have been worse. What the hell was that comment, man? You're the arsehole because you called the cops while he's threatening to go to his dad's and get a gun and shoot himself and potentially hurt others at the same time. Fucking wild, man. OP adds another update and says, hey guys, I didn't expect to have to update this thread. My ex has been sending me non-stop messages blaming me for everything and threatening to sue me. By the way, we're not from the same state and I'm 17. What he said verbatim as much as possible. He claims that I got his dad's apartment swatted and caused PTSD for both him and his dad. He admits he wasn't actually suicidal and lied about being depressed to test me, but he still blames me for losing interest in him and making his life hell. He also accuses me of ghosting him so he could have more physical bonds with other people. He keeps claiming that being sent to the mental institution is now on his record and has ruined my life, saying he's lost my Second Amendment, 90% of career options, voting rights, and even the ability to join the military. He describes being locked in a white room for 3 days with bright lights, nothing to do, green scrubs, forced sleep disruption, and hearing screaming, calling it torture. Here are some of the things he actually said. Now I know you either want to watch me suffer eternally or want to see me dead in some way. Your family or you can get sued or deal with an investigation that is going based on the fact that you got my dad's apartment swatted. I wasn't actually suicidal. I just wanted to see if you cared about me. You caused me to lose my Second Amendment, 90% of my career options, my right to vote fairly, and even the ability to join the military. You got me sent to a mental institution which ruined my life. Even after all of that, I'm still willing to help save your life from being ruined, even though you destroyed mine. That's because I care. He also keeps trying to manipulate me emotionally, saying things like, even after all that, I'm still willing to feed you. What will happen if and when I get a lawyer and I'm willing to help save your life from being ruined? It's because I care. Now I know you either want to watch me suffer eternally or want to see me dead in some way. He insists he's forming a lawyer and keeps threatening legal action, claiming I slandered and destroyed his life, while still trying to make me feel guilty for calling 911 to help him. I don't know what to do. I haven't replied. Edit, I did block. He created another account to message me. He got out the mental hospital a few days ago. Another edit. I actually have photo evidence of him showing me a picture of a gun to his head, but it's from February. And to everyone judging me for my choices. Yeah, I was naive. I believed people could change, and I learned the hard way that not everyone will. Either way, thank you to everyone who replied with thoughtful messages. I read every single one of them, and I will try to reply to them too. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me, or if you want to message me, please do. And OP replied to a bunch more comments after this. One commenter said, I hope you have all his suicide threats documented, either through text or voicemail. Talk to your folks or whoever you can count on regarding this toxic manipulative man baby and block him ASAP. Or mute and let the messages pile up so you can use them in case he does try to bring some bogus suit and it's an empty threat. You had legitimate concern for safety, so he's just ranting and crying like an impotent arsehole. You should have dumped that person the second he started that BS about self-harm or suicide and blaming you. Don't ever stay hitched to a person that has serious mental issues or personality disorders. If you have a hint of a red flag similar to this in the future, just cut your losses and get out of it. It isn't worth it. If you can reach out to someone on his end, like a parent or someone you think isn't as useless as he is, and let them know why you contacted the police and what he has been doing, and that he has threatened you repeatedly, and you're still a minor at this point, he'll probably just disappear or face additional real legal troubles. He's 100% at fault and guilty, not you. Opie says thank you. I definitely learned something from that relationship, and I shouldn't have ignored the first red flag. I was dumb, yes, but I will for sure make better decisions in the future. I will try and bring this up to my parents though. I'm just super afraid of their reaction. Commenter says, you're young OP. You're still learning about relationships. It's not your fault. He was institutionalized. Medical professionals make that decision. Your parents need to know. They love you and they will want to protect you. Please tell them. From a mum. OP says, thank you for reassuring me. I'm still scared, but I'll find the courage to tell my parents. Someone says, can OP contact her ex's parents? OP says, unfortunately, his dad and mum cray-cray like him. Someone says, why hasn't OP blocked her ex? OP says, texted on another account. Someone said to OP, have you talked to your parents about this at all? They can help you file a restraining order. OP says, I did tell my father about the mental hospital part, but I haven't told him about this. I'm afraid that my dad will be mad at me or blame me. I'm scared to tell my parents this information because my dad will get mad at me for getting into stupid shit. Commenter says, not the arsehole. He literally fucked around with the suicide manipulation and found out by someone who cares, calling the authorities to help him. His Second Amendment rights are not a problem as far as I know. Even if he was mentally ill, that doesn't mean you can't own guns. Actual doctors and therapists would have evaluated him for mental illness. If he were found not to have issues, it wouldn't affect his record. Guns are only restricted in some locations. If he were declared mentally fine, then he would have no problem getting a gun. I seriously think this arsehole joining the military is laughable. So that point doesn't matter. He might actually grow up if he were in the military, because right now he's acting like a child. His parents need to parent him better because that 18-year-old isn't ready to be an adult. You did not swat him. Swatting is calling the police to a location knowing there is nothing going on, other than you being an arsehole for calling the police on the swatting victim. He gave you reasons to call the police. That's on him. Pistols are illegal unless you are 21. People convicted of federal crimes can't have guns because they are considered a danger. Some locals have local laws about guns. The NRA constantly tries to overturn those laws. They did when my local city tried to enact laws like NYC. You did nothing wrong. People like this guy are the reason those who are suicidal are not believed. His BS about taking care of you is just that, BS. He's being manipulative, trying to make you feel guilty so you're allowed him back into your life. He needs to grow up first. Right now, he'd be the statistic of partners who run away from a relationship when it gets hard, making you a single mother probably, or he'd start hitting you because he's an arsehole. Tell him straight out, I'm done, don't contact me again. Then move on with your life. Make your socials all private if you can, and don't take on new friends. Hope you reply saying thank you for your support. I agree with everything you said at this point. He's just grasping at straws just to shift the blame onto me. Still, after we've broken up, he's so manipulative, and I honestly regret how stupid I was not to realize how shitty of a person he was. He even tried to bring up irrelevant stuff just to manipulate and blame me to make me feel like I'm a dumb and bad person. I don't know. He needs help ASAP. Look, guy's clearly got bigger issues, and I hope he needs to stay away from that and absolutely tell your parents. 100% tell your parents immediately. And like everyone always says, document this stuff, and if possible, get some kind of order to keep him away from you. And that's a lot to do at 17 years old. Bloody hell, I wouldn't even know where to start. Because that guy sounds like he's got some real issues going on. The fact that he says he doesn't have issues, he wasn't suicidal, and he was just testing you, you know, if that is the case as well, that's absolutely horrific at the same time. Because then it's just manipulation and he 100% knows what he's doing. How does that make it any better? But bloody hell, what would you say to OP in this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Heart on the Window, who says, my boyfriend went to buy me a birthday gift at the mall and then gave the store assistant who helped him his number. Went to work yesterday, called my boyfriend to say good morning. He was pissy because I woke him up. Didn't know he was asleep, so he hung up. His mum called me on my lunch to ask how I am and if I spoke to my boyfriend today. I assumed she wasn't able to get through to his phone, so I shrugged it off saying I'm good, and I only said good morning to him. Day goes by, he doesn't call or text at all. I call at 6 PM and he just got home from the mall and has an attitude. I ask him what's going on, and he says now that he's home, I can stay on the phone and irritate him. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And he hangs up. Later, his sister tells me my boyfriend went to buy me a birthday gift at the mall and then gave the store assistant who helped him his number. She tells me the girl didn't ask, but my boyfriend gave it out, and then they were texting through the day. This morning, said he wants to talk to me. I told him when I get home. Then he says he thought about it and it's not that deep, so it doesn't matter. Obviously not knowing I already know. I get home and it takes over 35 minutes for me to get him to just spill whatever happened. He then says he had pure intentions because the girl looked sad and lonely. And he said, you know what? I'll be your friend. I asked him how come you didn't speak to me at all, but you had time to text her since you said you were busy, etc. He said, well, she texted me and you didn't. Bruh, I don't even know how to think or feel. I feel like I'm stupid and overreacting, or I'm naive and gullible. Commenter says to OP, are you guys teenagers? I pray to the heavens. His actions sound immature. He's either losing respect for you or never had it to begin with. I'll go with the latter. You're not overreacting. He has every intention to cheat on you eventually, if he hasn't already. Sometimes cheaters push you away when they've done something already. You must be a lovely person to have a close connection to both his mum and sister. I love that his own sister ratted on him to look out for you. Know your worth. He shouldn't be treating you like this, but he will only do what you allow. Hope he says he's 4 years younger than me, so I should have known. Commenter says, I think he's keeping you around until he finds someone else. Don't be anyone's doormat. Hope he says, I don't get for what though. He could be single and just go talk to girls. What's the point of staying with me to do that? Commenter replies saying because he needs you around in case these other girls don't work out, or he gets off on it. It's classic cheater mentality. Commenter says not overreacting. How old is your boyfriend? This sounds like something a high schooler would do. Also sounds like he had the intention of cheating. I don't buy the whole she looks sad and lonely thing. He probably wouldn't have told you and only did because his sister already told you. I'd reevaluate your relationship. You deserve to be with someone who treats you with respect, as this whole situation is extremely disrespectful. Opie says he's 21. He's calling me insecure because he knew I'd react badly, and said he tried to prove a point that girls and guys can be friends. But like, who gives their number to a stranger to be friends? Usually I'll get to know them first before even talking on the phone. Commodore says, I'm literally the biggest advocate for girls and guys just being friends. I go off on here regularly at folk claiming they can't and being paranoid. And even still, that's bullshit. Nobody goes out to make a friend that's just a girl to prove a point. They just make that friend naturally. Opie says he sees no wrong in his actions. I'd probably use up all my oxygen trying to explain, and he would still remain ignorant. He said if I'm so insecure, he'd call her right now and have her speak to me to prove how the interaction went. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm easily manipulated because I don't know what to say at that point. Commodore says even if he gave his number to a stranger so they could be friends, why was he so horrible to you? That's inexcusable. Is he angry because they were texting and maybe it didn't go the way he wanted to? Pure intentions? Sad and lonely? You are naive and gullible if you believe this nonsense. And why is his family so involved in your lives? Opie says technically his sister told me, thinking I already knew. She's really good to me and we're close. But about his mum, I don't know, because usually she only calls if she can't get a hold of her son. Yeah, to me, it definitely felt like he was moving away from the relationship, or he's already checked out of this relationship and just keeping OP on standby, if you like. I know that sounds absolutely horrible to say, but there's just too many red flags in one post for, this just to be a friend, etc. But OP added an update and says, for those who remember me talking about my boyfriend saying the girl looked lonely, like she needed a friend, etc. I took a break from him to process everything. He called me last night, said he missed me, and he did some thinking. He came to the conclusion that a lot of our arguments is because we each refuse to compromise on things. I told him that's far from whatever the hell he did. Eventually he told me they called twice since the Friday it happened. The girl flirted with him and apparently he shut her down and blocked her. This would be admirable if he didn't put himself in the position in the first place. But yeah, the conversation escalated quickly. He kept getting angry and having an attitude. He called me insecure and said my insecurities are my fault, despite me not having any before him. I explained to him when people have weird vibes or when they ask me out, I simply say, I'm in a relationship, I'm not interested, and move along. He laughed at me saying, when people ask me out, I did so well in trying to give myself talks and hold myself together since Friday. And he just had to call and spew more horrible things just because he feels angry he's in this situation. He said there's nothing he can do to help, so let's move past it and forget it and not keep talking about it. He hung up on me and I'm blamed again. He fucked up, but it's my responsibility to heal and get better and shit. I don't know what to do, but guys, please don't ever insert women in you and your partner's lives. If you're unhappy, please break up and then talk to women. This isn't normal. Edit, thank you to everyone that commented and gave me their insights, etc. I do appreciate it, and I've been reading everything through my workday. I haven't been able to reply to each, but I'm grateful you guys took time to comment. I don't know how I'll work through this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but trust me, I'm aware of what I need to do. Hopefully I can shut the fuck up and just run with courage, but thank you. Commodore says to OP, how long has it been since the break started? Is it at the 1 week point? Do you want to continue the break? OP says since last Friday. Today's Wednesday. I thought my mind would be better by Friday to address it, but he kinda warped my thoughts with that call. I'd love to go for a month, but my birthday is this month, so I know everything will be a mess. Commodore says, he told you it's your fault. You have two choices here. One, you suck it up and stay with him because yes, it's your fault he gave his phone number to an employee while searching for a gift for you. Be his submissive woman and watch how he twists your mind over and over. 2, pick up your self-esteem and tell that piece of flesh acting like a man that it's over. He had the audacity to flirt while shopping for you. He has no respect for you or the relationship. He can go ahead and flirt all he wants because he is now single. Because how he treated you isn't respect, love, or even like. You pick yourself up, dust off his bullshit, and move on to better things. Opie says, I'm trying so hard for option 2, but this guy is in my head. I keep going back to square one every day this week. Opie responds to a comment about stopping insulting herself and getting out of the toxic relationship. Opie says, it's difficult when I feel silly for putting myself in these situations. But you are right. Insulting myself doesn't help my self-worth. I'm afraid to wonder about the reasons, because what if it's because I'm afraid of being alone? I denied it often because I'm an only child and I've been alone all my life, and I've never felt any kind of haunting emptiness, apart from missing my friend group. I did most of the things I needed to on my own. So if it is that, I'm scared to admit it, but also, I don't even know how to know if it's that. Another commenter says, please look up signs of emotional abuse and manipulation. Do you have anxiety? A lot of anxious people have control issues. Doesn't make you a narcissist. I feel that you are taking the blame for his actions, and that's what happens when you're being manipulated. You need to get your power and self-worth back. Please research. Opie says, I'm diagnosed with anxiety and depression, unfortunately. I think it's best I go back to therapy, to be honest. I'm sure a professional can assist more than me going as far as doubting the research too. Commenter says, yeah, therapy would be helpful. I read your last post again. How often in your relationship does your boyfriend hang up on you? I honestly wish I could hug you. He's just so mean. Opie says he hangs up whenever there's conflict, most often, and I annoy him. And I really do hope that Opie takes that step to remove herself from that relationship, because she's not overreacting, she's not insecure, and I don't think Opie is gullible for, trusting her boyfriend to act like a boyfriend. But Opie is being manipulated, and the fact that she's questioning her own sort of reality, if you like, is proof that it's working. And I really hope that if Opie does step out of this relationship, that, like we always say, the fog lifts around her and things become a lot clearer and she's much better off without him, because she will be, no doubt about it. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.